I had become interested in artificial intelligence and gene editing for some time, and I was invited to take part in various discussions with scientists. Those things have been in my mind for some time. I'm personally quite excited and optimistic about both artificial intelligence and gene editing. But at the same time, I can see that unless, as a society, we reorganize ourselves very quickly, there could be great harm could come out of them as well. So I think we are, as a human society, we're at some sort of important crossroads at the moment. But I wasn't really thinking about writing a novel about such things until I was thinking about this story, about Klara, this children's story. And when I realized that it wasn't a children's story and that I could turn it into what I thought would be an important story about the future as a human race, then all these things that I've been learning about artificial intelligence and gene editing came into the story. That's really what happened. I think science fiction has now become one of the really key important genres of our age, because we live in the age of huge scientific innovation. So, I mean, not long ago, when I was a young writer, science fiction was a very specialist kind of category. But I think this has completely changed in the last 20 years. I feel that not only is it very important, mainstream writers just very naturally use elements of science fiction in their writing when they need to, but I think we should also look at the huge body of literature that has been built up over many decades around the world, which is called science fiction. So I think there is a whole new generation of sci-fi writers, because the world is now a sci-fi world. It doesn't feel to me like we're talking about fantasy or the future. It feels to me like we're talking about the present. So in Klara and the Sun, I was never conscious of trying to really imagine the future. I was just thinking of what is possible today. I wanted to ask the question about human beings. Are human beings almost like machines? I mean, this is a question I wanted to ask. We like to believe that we're different to animals and that we have this kind of spirituality. But actually, now that we live in a world with many algorithms and big data and artificial intelligence, will we start to look at ourselves like machines ourselves? And do we start to look at the people in our family almost like machines with data? And will it start to change the way we look at each other? Because we can't continue to think in the old way that we have for centuries and centuries about human beings. I'm not suggesting that there isn't something unique in the human individual. This is a question that is raised in the novel. It's more that I'm saying that if we live in an age when we think that data and artificial intelligence can actually predict things more and more about our wishes and our prejudices and the way, what we believe. And this is happening to us at the everyday level all the time. When we try and buy something, many things are recommended to us, because some machine is predicting what kind of things we're likely to want. I'm quite impressed these days, or even slightly alarmed by how accurate. So we live, it's part of the texture of our lives already. So the question I'm asking is that living in that kind of world where we take for granted that artificial intelligence programs can actually know us to that as individuals to that extent, will that start to actually change the way we regard ourselves as human beings, and crucially the way we look at people close to us and our friends, members of our family? Will it change the meaning of words like love, when you say you love a member of your family or you love a person? And will people really be seen to be so irreplaceable? Would we start to think that the idea of a digital copy of a person, does that start to become possible? And even if it isn't technically possible, would it start to change the way we think about each person being completely unique? So these are the questions that are raised in the novel, but I'm not providing any simple answers to that question of whether we are unique or not. And in fact, towards the end of the book, I think Klara probably comes to the conclusion that human beings are unique. Each individual does have something special, and she gives a reason why that could be the case. But as for artificial intelligence and human beings coexisting, I think that's a very complicated question, and I think there are many problems about that.